707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101, or visit fountaingroveinn.com.
Welcome back to the show. You are listening to the Fred Dreyer Show on crntalk.com. Dial us up and give us a look. We're right here. I'm looking right at you right now, actually. Where am I? I'm going to give you my right profile. There I am. So dial us up and drop in on us. And as I was saying before the break, Pat Buchanan has always been, I believe, a voice, although he is branded certainly as a Republican, but and always has been a conservative Republican. He was, I think, at his zenith. I think when the President Reagan was raging for those 8 years from 80 to 88. Pat was there, and he was he and Newt and all those fellas there who clung to conservatism while they watched the rest of the Republican Party cowardly just bleed all over the place and go left. And Pat has been one of those people who has clung to common sense and reason above politics. He's written books, and if you've read his books, and I have, my favorite book, I mean, he's written several, but my favorite book was The End of the West, which was a very sobering, prediction with all the facts that all the research that he does, the facts that are leading up to the end of America as we know it, and the explosion of a third world country, the abortion-led culture, and the collapse of the moral code, the social moral code, the spirituality that is Christian in this country, that is being bled from it. We have our wrists slashed, ladies and gentlemen. We are bleeding, and we're bleeding terribly, and we've got to acknowledge it and stop it. And I think it starts with listening to people who have wisdom and a little bit of insight as to where we are as a culture. And Pat has always, I think, whenever you hear him speak, he's so uplifting and emphatic about the things that he says. He's come out just as recently, and he's always weaving in where we are in terms of the culture and the culture war, the moral footprint that we had and are losing. And he's always talking about things that I think are really important that's missing, that I wish we would be able to have a candidate from the Republican side or the conservative side or the teabag side of the party be able to freely stand up and just start talking about the truth, about what secular liberalism has done to this country, and what it's turned the population into. So I want to play. I've got some sound bites here from Pat, and I want to start out with this one. And he's talking, as I said, just a little clip about the root of the culture war. Is a moral belief, versus militant secularism. Tommy, give me number one, would you?
It is the fundamental beliefs of a significant slice of this country, maybe still a majority, in Christianity and Scripture and tradition and all those ideas of right and wrong, against a new secularist idea, which is quite militant, no doubt gaining in strength. That is the root of the culture war.
Yeah, that's it. That is the root of what we're fighting for. Everything you hear Obama say is literally to keep you from thinking that. Everything that Obama stands for, his presidency, the reason he got into politics, the people he became friends with in Chicago, the people that paved his way, the people that paid for him the people that cleared the way in every way, shape, or form to allow this person to surface when he did, and to meet George Soros, to get the backing, and to be there right on the tip of the diving board, just slowly bouncing, rhythmically bouncing, with his toes hanging over the edge of the diving board, smiling down at Hillary Clinton as George Soros walked up to her and said, "Leave the pool area and take all of your stuff with you. You're done. You see the guy on the diving board? Get out of the way, because he's diving in." And that's what happened. That's why you got this guy. He was bought and paid for, and he is the one, the individual person. And the fact that he is black, that he is handsome, that he is bright, and as Joe Biden said, you'd be surprised how articulate he is. And we've got something here on Joe, too, we'll get into. He's really, this fatuous oaf is just really hilarious. And thank God we have people like Biden still in office, although we got to get rid of these people. I hate to say it. I'm going to go for freedom and liberty over jokes anytime. So we're going to get rid of Biden here. We'll get rid of Barry, too. And we'll get him off of the diving board and put a robe around him and take him to the station wagon and then drive him off into the desert, hopefully. All of them. But what's interesting about what Pat is talking about, what he's saying, really is at the root of where we are. And what I would really like to have, I would really love it if we had a candidate that could talk this way. And it was Ronald Reagan, but you'll never see the likes of Ronald Reagan. We can get into that a little bit later on, perhaps. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. But Pat... There's also another thing here from Pat that Democrats want to enshrine immortality into the Constitution. Listen to this one. Number 2, Tom.
Is Billy Graham, Pope John Paul II, every pope throughout history, all these moral and religious leaders, Aquinas, Augustine, they were all too stupid to recognize the morality of homosexual marriage. It has been universally condemned throughout history. They believe, and I believe, that it is unnatural and immoral, the relationship. And we are trying to enshrine that in the Constitution of the United States. Obama hasn't gone that far, but that is what they want done.
Isn't it great to hear that? Isn't it great? That's not a politic. It is for the left. You know, Pat's to be snuffed out, you know, if you're on the left. But what's interesting is how freeing it is to hear somebody today say that up against every single thing that you're seeing and hearing, sound bites and the news and all of the news pratter and titillation and all of the fakery, that you get, whether it's the noise about Trayvon Martin, and all of those things that are to fog you, to keep you away from thinking about and asking questions about these things that Pat Buchanan is talking about. The left wants to enshrine immorality into the Constitution. And that's what that is. That's not a Republican saying that. That's a moral man who has a wisdom about him that is lacking in this country. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.